All right, go for it. As hard as you can. There you go. All right, it's going. See if I can get y'all to where you can see this good enough. So if we're looking at Caden's program, week 1, like I was saying, he couldn't do a pull-up, right, in that video, but we were able to do 3 reps at 5-second negatives. So he was able to get above the bar, and then I'm counting as he's lowering down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When I say 5, he's at a dead hang, and then we go again. And he did that for 3 reps, okay? And so that would be week 1. Week 2, he did 4 reps at 5-second negative. And then week 3, he did 4 reps at 6-second negative. And then week 4, he did 3 reps at a 10-second negative. So what you can see is each one of these is just applying a little bit more stress. And by doing that, we just keep kind of stressing the system and applying a little bit more stimulus so that we can adapt to that stress and progress over time. So if you really look, what we're doing is the key here, the big key factor is time under tension. That's what I'm increasing. That's the trend here on how we're progressing. So if you look at the first one, we have 15 seconds of time under tension, right? And that's just because I did, again, 5 seconds and I did 3 reps. So that's how many seconds he's under work, or he's working under load, right? His body weight is the load. That's 15 seconds time under tension. And then the next week you can look, we just keep increasing it just a little bit. So then we're stressing the system a little bit more, and he's doing 20 seconds time under tension. The next week we're stressing the system a little bit more. He's doing 24 seconds of time under tension. And then on week 4, we stressed the system even more, and we did 30 seconds time under tension. So again, we're just adding in more volume as the weeks go on. And then on week 5, this is where, like, again, there's not a standard. It's just not really black and white where it's one size fits all. So you're going off their performance and how well they do, or how their body responds to the stress and stimulus. So with Caden, after week 4, I was like, all right, hey, hop up there and let's try a pull-up and let's see what it looks like. And when he tried the pull-up, he got it pretty much. So he got all the way to like right here. So he's dead hang, he's pulling, and then he got kind of stuck right there. So that last 1/4 of the rep, he got stuck. And then all I did from there was, again, it's not black and white, so there's no right or wrong. We could have been like, okay, hey, let's just build some more strength and see if that works. So we could have done, instead of 3 reps, 10-second negative, maybe we try 5 reps for a 10-second negative, right? And that would apply to a little bit more volume and a little more stress to the system as well. What I decided to do, just because he was missing some strength in that last 4th rep, is if you ever watch powerlifters who, if they have a sticking point on their bench, maybe it's the top part of their bench, what they'll do is they'll set up the rack and they'll kind of rig it up to where they get to this part of the movement here. And then there's like the spotter bar or whatever they'll put here. And then they're trying to drive into that to build up neural drive to where they build more strength in that sticking point. And that's exactly what we did. So, and this is just where think your way through it. Again, there's no right or wrong. So as long as there's some kind of intent and you think your way through it, you'll probably be good. And so with my thought process here was, okay, he's sticking at that last 4th rep, and we need to build strength there. So what can we do to build him some strength in that part and build more neural drive to where he can just eventually get to where he can get a full clean rep? So what I decided to do was just rig up some isometrics, because those are great from building strength there, kind of like what we were just talking about, the powerlifting. And so for him, that looked like this. He would get to he would be at the dead hang, and when he stopped here, what I did, I found where he stopped. So again, that 4th part for him. So Caden was kind of getting stuck here, and I had him stand on a box, and I just got him to get to this position. So I was like, okay, get to right where you were getting stuck. So we found that, and then he's standing on a box, and he's holding on to the pull-up bar, and then we just did an isometric from there, as far as now he can't move, okay? But I'm saying I want you to drive and pull into that pull-up bar as hard as you can and contract, driving your elbows down as if you're going to bend the bar from there and build as much strength as you can. So we ramped up 20%, 40, 60, 80, and got up to 100% max effort trying to bend the bar, but the bar's not going to move because we don't want to move because we want to train from that sticking point, right? So we want to train from there. So he's trying as hard as he can. We did a couple sets from there. And then we know with isometrics, you're strong in 15 to 20 degree increments. So if I go from here, then we went to here with his chin above the bar. And then the same thing, I wanted him to build strength from here. So I had him try to bend the bar from here, drive those elbows into the ground, ramp that contraction up to maximum contraction, and hold that isometric contraction. And we also know too, if it's a full out isometric contraction, max effort, then it's going to only be able to be held for around 10 seconds if it's a really true max effort. So that's what we did, a couple sets, 10 seconds max effort. And then, so that should make sense, right? We did it from here, and then we did it from here. And that was pretty much it on that one. That day, if you do that max effort, that should smoke you. So that's all we did there on that day. And then if you look at week 6 here, we tried again, and he was better. He wasn't sticking as much, but he still needed a little bit more strength in that 1/4 rep. We could have programmed the isometrics again, and then he could have layered on more strength there to stress the system. What I decided to do there was what's called a eccentric quasi-isometric. And this is just, my thought process behind this was just to even pile on more volume and sticking point. Because if you've ever done these eccentric quasi-isometrics, you would know that they are crazy taxing on the body, and it applies a lot of stress. So what this is where you will go find the shortened position of the movement, which would be for the pull-up, it would be here, right? And then you're going to hold this for as long as you can from this position here until you fail. So you're holding here as long as you can. Remember, that's where he wasn't as strong from. And he's going to hold. Say he starts to fail at like 7-10 seconds, right? Then he's going to fail, and I'm going to tell him hold at his next sticking point. So maybe he's falling, and there might be a spot where he can get hold again a little bit more. He's going to hold. He's going to hold there as long as he can. And then maybe he fails, but then he finds another spot where he can hold from, and then he's going to hold there as long as he can. And he's going to keep doing that till he gets to a fully lengthened position. That's the eccentric quasi-isometric. Now, think about that, what I just said. You're max effort trying to hold, and you go to failure from one spot, from here, and you go to failure, and then failure again. That's crazy taxing. So that applies even more stress to the system. And again, that's what we're trying to do. Just keep stressing the system more and more so that it has a chance to adapt, so that it can adapt to the stimulus over time. And so that was my thought process on why I set that up there. And so we just did a couple reps there, and he was smoked. And that's what I was wanting, just again to acquire more volume in that 1/4, like that sticking point there. More time under tension through that spot, right? Because he was holding it for like 10 seconds, and then 10 seconds, that's 20 seconds of time under tension there, which you can see for the whole reps, he was getting about that much time under tension when we started. And then week 7, I told him hop up there again and try the pull-up, and he was able to get 2 reps on the pull-up. And so what we did was he did 2 reps, we rested for about a minute, and then he did 2 reps, we rested for a minute, he did 2 reps, and then we did it again. So he did 4 sets of 2 reps. And there's the goal as far as we have him to be able to do a pull-up, which was a cool little goal that I set for him and that he wanted to hit. And then now we can just create a monster at pull-ups, right? Because I can keep following the same progressive overload principle. And maybe next week we do 4 sets at 3 reps, okay? And then we can go up from, 4 sets at 4 reps or 5 reps. But I think you now at this point, after me explaining this, get the point. There's no right or wrong as far as how you want to program. You could do 5 sets at 2 reps. It just has to be more stress, more volume over time, okay? And that's more time under tension in the movement. And that's what's going to stress that tissue more to get that adaptation you want.